The title of this video is Your Mind Chatter Doesn't Mean You're Crazy. It's just your ego talking. Have you ever caught yourself in the middle of a mental rant, grumbling about someone, blaming yourself for a mistake, or maybe worrying about something that hasn't even happened? Maybe you thought, where is this mental noise coming from? The inner chatter, or sometimes even waves of emotion, and the web of thoughts that seem to pop up on their own. Does it ever feel like your mind has a mind of its own? Well, you're not alone. This internal monologue, often jumping from one topic to the next, is pretty much a human universal trait. And no, it doesn't mean you're crazy. In fact, it's actually a powerful clue to something going on deeper beneath the surface. So some people say, I don't think I have mind chatter like you're talking about. But I can tell you this, even if you don't think you do have a mental file of beliefs on a wide variety of topics, and they affect your emotions and your judgments and what you project on others. In this video, I'm going to explore what this inner voice really is, where it comes from, and more importantly, how to stop letting it control your peace of mind. And as we get near the end, I'm going to guide you through a meditation that's going to help you to solidify the positive that comes through in this mind chatter. The voice in your head is not a random stream of thoughts. It's your self-talk, and it's based on the perceptions and conclusions that you hold in your subconscious mind. And while some of this inner conversation can be helpful, like when you're working through a decision and you're trying to solve a problem, much of it contains a mixture of worry and anxiety, fear, guilt, anger, blame, all kinds of self-judgments, self-criticism, and emotional reactions. Have you ever scolded yourself after saying or doing something you wish you didn't? Like maybe when you cut yourself and you have some expletive that comes out of your mouth. Or maybe you silently criticize someone for how they behave toward you. Or perhaps you replayed the same event over and over in your mind, wishing you'd done things differently. So this is what I mean by inner dialogue. And most people live with this mental narration and judgments without ever questioning it. But here's the critical insight. Your inner voices are not random. They're shaped by a deeper structure hidden beneath the surface of your awareness. It comes from a whole network of beliefs and memories, experiences, emotional reactions, associations, conclusions, and a whole array of subconscious and unconscious programs. So, but where does it come from? Why does it think what it thinks? You can think of your mind as a vast library or a data archive. And since the day you were born, it's been recording everything. Experiences, conversations, relationships, pain, conclusions, joy, happiness, trauma, rules, cultural messages. And all of this gets stored in your subconscious mind, usually far below your everyday awareness. And sometimes it's completely out of your awareness. You can't even access it. I've had so many people tell me they don't remember hardly anything from their childhood. And yet I know your subconscious mind has been recording it all. And when life presents a new moment, especially one that feels emotionally charged, your mind flips through all of those stored files that you have, looking for past associations that somehow relate to what this experience is in order to make sense out of what's happening. So, for example, let's say someone ignores you or devalues your opinion, maybe with a sarcastic comment. You don't really believe that crazy conspiracy theory, do you? Have you ever felt embarrassed, rejected, or foolish? Well, that reaction may not be about them. It might stem from a childhood event when an adult made you feel insignificant or wrong. When you make a mistake, do you berate yourself with a self-criticism? That could be tied to an old belief. It could be based on an idea that your worth depends on how perfect you are. And when you're alone for too long, do you ever feel anxious? Well, your subconscious mind may have linked solitude to abandonment when you were a kid. Just about everybody has some elements of loneliness or abandonment due to the fact that in life, we often are alone. We'd like to be acknowledged and loved unconditionally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yet, we live on a planet where it's not even possible physically. Everybody has duties and responsibilities and things that they need to take care of. So they can't give you continuous 24-hour attention. But that's what you really want. That's what the mind wants. It wants constant reassurance. And so your reactions today are echoes of yesterday's conclusions. And a lot of those conclusions were distortions. Now, all of us hold countless beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about life, about success, about love, about failure, and just about every other topic. In fact, the fact is true that you can't even function without beliefs, so you can't tell me you don't have them. But the problem lies in the fact that beliefs are not necessarily facts. They are conclusions that you came to in the past based on your judgments, your perceptions, your values, morals, ethics, and what you've actually been brainwashed to believe by other people. Most of your beliefs were formed early in life, and they live quietly in the background, and they shape how you see the world and how you see yourself. Beneath your many beliefs, there are core beliefs. These are the deep, often unconscious convictions, and they sit at the foundation of your identity. So a belief like, I'm not good enough. People can't really be trusted. I have to earn love. Something bad always seems to happen. I have bad luck. I seem to always screw things up. There's something wrong with me. People take advantage of me. What problem can I expect next? Now, that was a dumb thing to do. I'll never find love. This is a type of self-talk. And the self-talk is based on the core beliefs. And your internal chatter is like a recording broadcasting the contents of your subconscious program. Have you ever found yourself reacting to something in a way that you didn't even understand? Maybe you felt suddenly self-conscious or embarrassed or ashamed in a conversation, and you thought, what's wrong with me? Why do I always mess things up? I can't believe I made that same mistake again. Chances are the answer lies not in who you are today, but in a story in your mind that began a long time ago. And surprisingly, some of the strongest and most stubborn beliefs that you carry did not come from years of experience. They were born in a single moment, usually in childhood, when something happened where you felt hurt, or humiliated, or frightened, or embarrassed, or rejected. And that moment planted a seed, and that took root in your subconscious mind, and it quietly began shaping your identity, your expectations, and your entire outlook on life. It's important to realize that this internal dialogue is not who you really are. It's actually a conditioned response, kind of like a habit in your own mind, built over decades of observations and conclusions and programming, repetition usually. So it's like a recording. And just like any habit of recording, you can change it. It can be erased. I've talked to a lot of people who tell me they feel anxious and they don't know why. In some cases, there isn't anything bad happening to them, but they nonetheless have a knot in their stomach. And the anxiety that you feel, or the voice in your head, might be stuck in loops of control or insecurity or worry. And that's what you're aware of. But the true self, the deep consciousness behind the voice, is actually wise and calm, peaceful and whole. So there's this perennial question, who am I? Are you just a collection of thoughts? Imagine a 6-year-old child who eagerly draws a picture and proudly shows it to a parent. And the parent says, well, that's not great. Why did you color outside of the lines? Now, to the adult, that might be a throwaway comment. But to the child, it feels like a deep wound. And from that small moment, a powerful belief can take hold. I'm not good enough. If I'm not perfect, I won't be loved. I'll be rejected. What I create is not valuable. I'm not good enough to be loved. Now, fast forward 30 years. That same person may still hesitate to express themselves, avoid risk, or battle inner critics, all without realizing where those thoughts come from. Why? Because what happens to us as children often becomes what happens within us as adults. So think back. Was there ever even a moment in your childhood when you felt embarrassed or shamed? Did someone ever tell you that you were too sensitive, too lazy, too loud, too clumsy, not tall enough, not good-looking enough, not smart enough? Have you ever felt invisible, or maybe wished you were invisible? Like, you don't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. Even if you don't consciously remember the moment, and in most cases you won't, the emotional imprint can last for your entire lifetime. Every experience you go through, success or failure, praise or punishment, leads your mind to draw conclusions. These conclusions are what become your beliefs. And beliefs are like software, and they run in the background of your consciousness. If you leave them unchecked, they then become like programs, and they silently guide your choices, your reactions, your decisions, and what you even believe that you deserve. And here's a fascinating, and maybe even kind of a frightening part. Once you've adopted a belief, your mind starts looking for proof it's true. It will distort, it will delete, or it will highlight certain experiences to support the belief. If you believe you're always getting in trouble or making mistakes, you'll focus on the moments that reinforce that idea. If you believe that people leave you, you'll unconsciously choose partners who are emotionally unavailable and perhaps who leave you. If you believe I'm not lovable, you push away anyone who tries to love you, just so you can protect yourself from being proven right. In other words, your life starts organizing itself around your beliefs. You become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, many leaders have observed that if you tell a lie long enough, loud enough, and often enough, people will believe it. I think that's a chilling statement when you think about it. And it not only applies to propaganda, it applies to your beliefs too. Your self-talk doesn't need to be true to be powerful. If it's repeated often enough, say by your parents or by teachers or by other adults, your own inner critic becomes a kind of gospel truth in your subconscious. And here's the dangerous part. You might not, and probably aren't even aware that you are repeating it. Have you ever found yourself muttering something under your breath like, well, that figures. I always screw things up. Or, that's just my luck. Or, why bother? It never works out anyway. That's not just venting. That's programming. Each time you say it or think it, you reinforce the belief behind it. And beliefs that go unchallenged become rules, self-fulfilling prophecies that you live by. The beliefs running your life may feel intractable, but they can be changed. The brain is not a fixed machine. It's adaptive. It's rewritable in a sense. And by rewriting your inner dialogue scripts, you have to apply yourself courageously to question what you have assumed to be true. And here's a tricky part. Well, there's actually two. The first one is becoming sensitive and aware enough to realize that you have negative or at least less than accurate beliefs. You see, most people have distorted thoughts that run through their mind from time to time without them even realizing it. You stub your toe and you mutter to yourself something without even thinking about it. But what you muttered may actually be reinforcing whatever it was that caused you to stub your toe in the first place, like being careless, not mindful, not watching where you were going. Now, apply this to a self-defeating belief such as blurting out something like, I guess I'm just not lovable, or for some reason I seem to repel success. So The tricky part about rewriting your life is to become mindfully aware of when you think or say something that undermines you. Most people don't pay attention to their inner thoughts and dialogue. And most of this seems to happen automatically. It's kind of like an unconscious habit. So you actually have to train yourself to be on guard to catch yourself. The second tricky part of rewiring your mind is that changing your beliefs can feel kind of uncomfortable. It's natural to get attached to your mental stories, even the painful ones. Some of the stories may be true, such as your disappointment that you're not a good artist, or a good musician, or a business person, or a relationship person. But such beliefs are only reinforced by your repetition of your beliefs. Letting go of limiting beliefs is like stepping out of a familiar prison. It's liberating, but it also leaves you standing in the unknown. So how do you fix this situation? Awareness is just the first step. You must first become aware of the pattern. And to do this, you need to observe yourself without judgments, listening to your inner dialogue, especially when you're emotional or tired or you're getting triggered. Start watching your thoughts like a curious observer or a scientist. Don't judge them. Just notice them. Interesting. I'm criticizing myself again. Where is that coming from? By asking these questions, this creates some space between you and your thoughts. So then the second step is identify the core beliefs. Ask yourself this question: what would I have to believe about myself or the world for this thought to be true? This question helps to reveal the hidden script that your mind runs on. And then you challenge the lie. You can ask, is this always true? Could there be another possible explanation? What would somebody who loves you say about this? So once you spot a belief, question it. Is it always true? What would a wiser, more compassionate part of you say instead? Here's how you do this. You replace the harsh inner critic voice with a supportive voice. The more often you practice kindness toward yourself, the quieter the negative internal voices become. And you do this by choosing an empowering alternative, even if you don't fully believe it yet. You can fake it until you make it. You repeat it. You feel it. Act as if it's true. And in time, your subconscious will start to believe the new story. And this brings up an important point. One way to reach the subconscious mind is through repetition. This is the way most of what is housed in your subconscious mind got there in the first place. A useful form of repetition comes through taking active control of your self-talk. Positive affirmations are one way to do this, and it can be done incorporating different approaches. One way is to repeat positive statements about yourself to yourself throughout the day. Another way is by listening to audible positive statements through recordings, or maybe subliminal recordings. And I have a whole lot of these on my website if you're interested. When possible, it's very helpful to repeat positive affirmations out loud. You can do this. So you say them in your mind and you repeat them out loud. Now, the best time to do this is when your subconscious is most receptive, which is usually in the morning when you first wake up and just before you go to bed at night. But of course, you can do it anytime through the day. And one really good way to create your own positive affirmations is to follow simply 2 steps. First, listen to what your own inner voices are saying. In other words, you want to write down some of the statements that tend to repeat. For example, I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm clumsy. I'm forgetful. I'm always doing stupid things. I'm always saying stupid things. People can't seem to love me. And then, secondly, create a statement that is the positive opposite, such as, I am smart and talented. Or you can create a variation, I am becoming more talented every day. My mind is becoming more clear and insightful and clever every day. And then you repeat the statement throughout the day, and especially as you're falling asleep at night. And it will not only become your own inner dialogue or talks, it will become your belief and part of your self-image. Now, your mind might be busy with all of these thoughts, but there's this other part of you beneath the surface, and that is your soul, and it is still. And when you learn to recognize there's a difference between the two, you can reclaim the steering wheel of your life. So the next time you hear the voice in your head going on and on, pause and ask, is this my truth? Is it coming from my soul? Is this who I really am? Or is it just some old story that's repeating, and I don't even remember where it came from? You have the power to change the script. You always have. So now for the remainder of this video, I'm going to lead you through a guided healing meditation for rewriting your core beliefs. Because when you're in a meditative state, you can most effectively reach your subconscious mind and make changes. So find a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. You should not do this while you're driving or doing anything else that might be distracting. You can do it sitting or lying down in a place and in a position where you feel supported and safe. And when you're ready, gently close your eyes and recognize this is the time to be kind to yourself. So begin by taking a deep breath in through your nose and hold it gently for just an instant. And then exhale softly out through your mouth. Give yourself permission to let go of any tension or distractions. And relax your face by separating your teeth slightly. And notice your entire body relaxes a little more deeply. There is nowhere to go and nothing else that you need to do at this time. In fact, this is the most important thing for you to do at this time. So give yourself permission to settle into a soft, sacred space within your heart where you are safe. And here you can allow your memories and reactions to reveal themselves to you so you can address them, release them, and heal them. So now gently ask yourself this question. What is one belief that I carry that has interfered with my life, keeping me from having all I've wanted? What is a thought that seems to repeat itself when things go wrong? And so it might sound something like, I always mess things up. I am not good enough. I don't deserve to be loved. I am not enough. People often leave me. I have to perform close to perfection just to be respected. Now just relax your mind and let the most significant belief arise naturally. And recognize you are not this belief. You are simply the one witnessing the belief. So you can ask yourself, when did I first begin to believe this? When do you first remember having this thought? Was it a moment from childhood? Was it a passing comment someone made? Was it a painful experience that left a scar? Now, you don't need to relive the pain. Just allow your memory to offer you a glimpse. Now, whatever you find, recognize it emanated from a painful place within the one who said it. That younger version of you did the best they could to cope with this happening. So whisper to them, I see things differently now. I understand much I didn't then, and I am here to help you heal. Now ask this question. Is this true of a belief? Is it absolutely true and always true? Can you think of a time when it wasn't true? Times when you were good enough. Maybe a time when you were loved. Maybe a time when you were capable of being loved. Now, what would you say to the love? What would you say to the belief? Would you tell it, you're a lie, I don't need you, I see where you came from, and you don't define me? What could you say to the belief now? Would you say, you're a lie, I don't need you anymore, I can see where you came from, and you do not define me. I forgive and release and let go of my past. I recognize this belief does not come from my soul. Therefore, it is not who I really am. Furthermore, it happened in the past, and the past doesn't even exist. So I can let it go. I can allow it to dissolve and be gone. Now, with your attention on your heart and with your intention of connecting with your soul, ask, what is a new belief that I choose to accept and integrate? Say it in your mind as you whisper softly. I'll be giving you a whole list or series here of examples. So let this be true. I am worthy of love just as I am. I trust my soul. I trust and believe I'm evolving more positively every day. I am a divine creation and am totally enough. I am healing. I am free. Feel them now spreading into your body, into every cell, and into your DNA. With each breath, repeat the following silently as you move your lips. I choose these new beliefs now. What could you say to this belief now? Will you tell it, "You're a lie. I don't need you anymore. I see where you came from, but you do not define me. I recognize this belief does not come from my soul. Therefore, it is not who I really am." And furthermore, it happened in the past, and the past no longer exists. So I can let it go, let it dissolve, and let it be gone. And now, putting your attention on your heart, with an intention of connecting with your soul, ask, what is a new belief I choose to accept and integrate? Say it in your mind as you whisper it softly. I'll give you some examples, and let these be true. I am worthy of love, just as I am. My past does not determine my future. I trust my soul. I trust and believe I am evolving more positively every day. I am a divine creation, and I'm totally enough. I am healing, and I am free. And let these new beliefs settle into your heart like a seed, and feel them spreading into your body, into every cell, and down into the DNA. And with each breath, repeat the following silently as you move your lips. I choose these new beliefs. I am these new beliefs. I choose this new truth. I choose the truth of my soul. And now imagine a gentle golden light filling you from head to toe and all around you in your aura. This is a miraculous light, glowing, pouring down into you from above and filling your body with healing energy and light. And this light carries all the new positive beliefs. This miraculous light rewrites and replaces all the old programs. It is what dissolves all the outdated stories. So welcome this light in. Let it fill every cell and every atom in your body. Let this light flood into you, bringing peace, power, renewal, and empowerment. And now take one more deep breath and gently give thanks for this healing. And say gently and softly, I am rewriting my story. I am free to evolve into my highest soul nature. And when you are ready, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, and you bring yourself back into your regular state of awareness and carry this new belief with you today. Feel it deeply. And if any old stories try to return, just repeat. That old chapter has ended. I have a new truth now under the direct revelation and guidance of the highest enlightened awareness of my soul. I have a new truth now under the direct revelation and guidance of the highest enlightened awareness of my soul. That's it for this video.